Sports bettors, you need to download Sharps, the better social network. With Sharps mobile app, you can tailor your friends' bets with one click. See a bet you like? Just click the whale tail icon and boom, it will open in your corresponding sportsbook. Sharp securely connects to major sportsbooks like FanDuel, MGM, Caesars, and more, so you can not only track your bets, but share your bets in creative ways. So gather the degens, download Sharps for free, and join our fast-growing sports betting community.
And Bonds hits one high. It's a deep. It is out of here. 7:56. Bonds stands alone. Now Booker with Tucker on him. Throws it up for 8. Shot blocked by Antetokounmpo. What a block from Giannis.
17 seconds from Game 7 or from championship number 6. Jordan, open, Chicago with the lead.
Minute remaining, and they're putting Curry in the pick and roll, trying to get him on Irving. Irving and Curry, one-on-one. Irving puts it up. It's good. Kyrie Irving from downtown.
We're sending it in, Jerome. That's for damn sure.
Yes. What is up, everybody? Welcome to Taproom Sports Podcast. I'm your host, Jordan Stacks on Stacks Labs. Joined on this beautiful Sunday evening, Week 1 NFL edition with my guy, Mr. Big Ballin' Ben Larson.
Sir.
What's up, Ben?
What a beautiful day.
Yeah.
Every year, I'm getting more and more into football, I do have to say. And every year it's going to be more and more successful for us. So
yes,
that makes me happy. It was a good day, good weekend, man. Got to go out to the Stick yesterday. Not really the Stick, but
whatever the fuck they call that park now.
Yeah, AT&T. Yep.
I thought it was
got more memorabilia from my
now?
fucking wall. I'm stoked.
Nice. Is it AT&T or is it the Oracle?
It's Oracle now.
Oracle, that's right.
Yeah, Pac Bell, then AT&T, now Oracle.
Yeah, I always remember it's Pac Bell.
Yep. Oh yeah, I'm stoked about my new piece. It'll be up right there pretty soon.
Nice.
So, this week.
Hell yeah.
Yep.
Beats having
How's
that
your
Wander jersey. Weekend was all right. Good close on Sunday. Saturday had like my worst college football day.
I so I know.
I shouldn't say like I only lost 4. I was only down 4 units, but you know, for me, like, I don't usually lose college football. And like last year, I had one bad weekend, and I lost 11 units in that weekend. It was a terrible weekend. It was a terrible college football weekend. And if it wasn't like every other college football weekend, I was profitable. And you know, week 0, week 1, profitable. Week 2, not so much. Had a lot of shit not go my way. Texas Tech game was, I mean, that was just like the fucking the icing on the cake. And then ASU, dude, that fucking team sucks. Absolute fucking donkey dick, dude.
Yeah.
And you know what? Like, I was talking to one of my friends about that game because I think Oklahoma State sucks, dude. Like, they're not a good team. And like watching them in the first week, I was like, dude, this team absolutely sucks. I bet against Arizona State. I took Southern Utah in week 1, right? Southern Utah is a little FCS school, and Southern Utah hung with them.
Yeah.
And he's like, man, like Southern Utah hung with Arizona State. And I was like, yeah, but it was like a lot of wonky stuff in that game. Like they had a 3-hour fucking weather delay because of lightning. Yeah. And I was like, you know, Rashida looked pretty good. And then, man, dude, that team, they looked awful, bro. They didn't even score a point in the second half.
Yeah.
And they got fucking whacked. So that's how my Saturday went. But we bounced back in NFL. Only had one NFL loss today. So, you know, I made back what I lost yesterday, which is always a good thing.
That's
Um,
what counts. Yeah.
and it would have been a really good day if Medvedev decided to show up in, biggest match of his career, decided that wasn't what he was going to do today.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Yep.
So that was that. And, shout out to Djokovic, obviously the best tennis player probably ever.
24th title. Yeah.
I mean, he dominated Medvedev today, and
Yep.
it was shocking the way he did it. Before we came on air, I was saying like Medvedev's the #1 returner in the ATP, especially on hard surface. Didn't even get a single fucking break point in the match, dude. It was just,
Yep.
it was all bad. But anyways,
Yep.
other than that, had a good day, good weekend. I know you went to the Giants game last night.
Yep.
Giants
Got to see a
blasted
good
the
W,
fucking
too.
Rockies.
Yep.
So,
Yeah, it sat right on the wall too.
nice.
So if they had gotten, I think our seats were Ks 16 and 17. So if they got a million Ks in that game, we would have been able to flip the
K.
flip the sign. Yeah,
Nice.
but I mean, definitely didn't get there. Got to see Logan. They actually gave some runs to Logan Webb, which is amazing,
yeah.
rare. So and then yeah, I'm stoked about. I got a fucking actual base from the Braves series. So
Nice.
yeah,
That's
stoked
tight.
about that.
Hell yeah,
I
man.
was stoked about that. And it was definitely second base because of how the like cleat marks on the side.
Yeah.
You can tell there were slides into there, and
Yeah,
it's fucking cool.
Acuna definitely touched that base.
There we go. Yeah.
Nice, man. We are definitely winding down on the MLB season, but this is the time of year where MLB kind of goes on the back burner, because football is here and football reigns supreme, obviously in America, and the NFL's back finally.
Yep.
So
it was a good week too.
Yeah, it was an awesome week of football. We're gonna talk about it. We're gonna get into it. A lot of obviously, week 1 there's a lot of overreactions. We're obviously gonna have some overreactions. We're gonna have some legitimate thoughts and opinions on a lot of these teams, games, etc. But are you sipping on anything, Ben?
Yeah, so I'm going with the hyper local tonight. I'm going with I was out at Rock Bottom Brewery on Friday night.
Nice.
Friday night? Friday night, and got to hang out with a brewer there. He sent me home with some PD's Pale Ale, so I'm sipping on that. It's a 5.6%, done by Rock Bottom, and the one in Campbell is found this out is now the only one left on the West Coast. So likely not going to be around for too long. But man, this pale is something I've been getting for the last probably 4 or 5 years, and it is quality.
Bro, that'd be weird. A Campbell with no Rock Bottom.
Yep. No, I mean it's been a staple in all of our lives for 20 years.
Yeah.
So
it was yeah, man. I mean, like all the drunken nights out at Campbell, they always started at Rock Bottom.
Yep.
Watched a lot of football there. I used to go there every Sunday.
Yep.
They would have like a different game on every fucking TV. Like this was back when like Sunday ticket was like unreasonable.
Yeah.
For
well, it still is fucking $250, $300.
Throughout the course of a season. But I mean, when you're younger and stuff, it's like
true.
It's different, and you can just go to Rock Bottom. They have happy hour all day, so it was like fucking, $2.50 beers or $5 fucking craft beers all day. You know what I mean? So good times, man. A lot of good memories at the Rock Bottom Brewery.
Yep. What are you sipping on?
Oh, I'm sipping on a little something. So, after the Texas Tech game last night, I got fucking annihilated, dude.
There we go.
Yeah, so I wanted to go to one of the breweries today and pick up some beer, but I didn't make it out of the house. Yeah.
That sounds too bright.
So that's how my day went.
There we go. I also realized I need to get a new Niners jersey too. My Trey Lance is now outdated. So.
Oh yeah, dude, you got to get a Brock Purdy.
Yeah. I don't know.
Who else are you gonna get?
I don't know. A CMC.
What you should do is just get like a
Bosa?
Jerry Rice jersey.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because those are they're never outdated, dude.
Yeah. I got my Debo jersey that's going up on the wall. I just need to get a frame for it. So it'll be an addition along with the mini helmet there.
Nice.
All
Yeah.
my bourbon there.
All the bourbon
There we go.
in the world.
What an office.
Yes. All right, so let's talk about some NFL this week. So we're going to start out with the Sunday night football game.
Yep.
Dallas, New York. Dallas closes 3.5-point favorites on the road. And then the total was 44. So the game, obviously Dallas covered. They went 40-0. Game goes under 44 because the Giants couldn't score. Game starts out with Giants driving down the field. They get stopped in the red zone, go to kick a field goal. Dallas blocks it, runs it back for a touchdown. And that was kind of the end of the Giants' day. Like, nothing positive came out of that day after then.
No.
I think the Cowboys finished with 7 or 8 sacks on the night.
7 sacks, yeah.
7 sacks. I mean, just a absolutely dominating performance by the Dallas Cowboys. I mean, if you're a Cowboys fan or you're the Cowboys, there's no better way to draw up this start to the season, in my opinion.
Yep.
What do you have any thoughts on these two teams?
I mean, it's thoughts on both teams. I mean, Dallas looked good, but I don't know what you can really take out of this game because the Giants were just such trash offensively and defensively. This team did not do really anything. You know, and that's something that we're definitely going to have to look at going forward for New York. You know,
big money Daniel Jones.
Yeah, big money Daniel Jones. You've got Saquon, who's a hell of a running back. You know, you picked up Waller. You've got Slayton. You've got, I mean, I guess Paris Campbell is your number 2 wide receiver. You know, and they go for 110 total yards today.
Yeah.
So that's
it's tough to get yards when your quarterback's on his back all game.
Exactly. Yeah. That offensive line needs to step up. But my big question is the coaching staff, like, why did you keep Daniel Jones in that game past, you know, the third quarter?
Yeah.
It was raining balls out there. He's getting absolutely destroyed. You're just ruining his confidence left and right.
Mike Tirico asked Chris Collinsworth, like, why do you think he's still out there? Do you think it's like to get something positive? Because that was my initial thought, is like, you know, keep him out there, try to get something positive going into next week. You know what I mean? And Chris Collinsworth said, no, it's probably Daniel Jones, like, saying, like, I want to stay out there. Maybe it is, but I mean, you're paying this guy $40 million. You know, you could debate whether it's worth it or not. You know, I don't think anyone thinks he's worth $40 million a year. But at the same time, it's like he goes down, and then what? I mean,
exactly.
I mean, maybe you have more. Maybe Brian Dable has more faith in Tyrod Taylor. That's why he's throwing Daniel Jones out there, hoping he gets hurt. And I'm not saying that's true. I'm just throwing it out there.
Yeah.
But I made 3 futures bets in the NFL this year. 2 of them were on the Giants. I bet the Giants under 6.5 wins, and I bet them alt under plus 240 5 wins. I thought this team way overachieved last year.
Yep.
Now, do I think they're going to be this bad all year? No, but I don't think that they're as good, and they play a very fucking difficult schedule. Like, they get the Cardinals next week, and then after that, they got fucking they don't have anyone easy.
Yeah. Well, Seahawks week 4.
Yeah, and we'll talk about the Seahawks later, but
I guess you can say, I mean, who knows what the Rams are going to be at the end of the season. Saints could be good, could be not good. Patriots could be good, could be trash. You know, and the Cardinals, Seahawks. So, you know, you've got 4 teams there that you could potentially win against, but, you know, you better hope that those teams don't show up that day.
Yeah, they have a tough schedule, and Daniel Jones is just not it. And Giants fans told me all offseason, Ben, they told me, oh, we got to pay him $40 million because that's the going rate for a QB. And I'm just like, yeah, that's the going rate for a good quarterback, not just a quarterback, dude. Like, I'm so you're telling me you couldn't find equal production for less money? Like, dude, Jimmy G is a better option.
Yep.
what are we doing, dude? Like, this is
Jimmy G signed for what, 22?
wait, less than that, like 12, I think.
Oh wow.
12
Oh,
a
that's right,
year.
because he's coming off the injury. Yeah.
And like, this is the kind of signing though that like sets teams back in the long run.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
We'll see. I think Brian Dable's a hell of a coach, but
yes and no, because they're gonna suck so much that they're gonna get top 5 picks.
yeah, but they're still paying Daniel Jones.
Well, yeah.
I don't know what the outs are in his contract. I'm sure he has like some kind of outs, but only so much guaranteed. But still, I mean, like they're kind of stuck with him.
Yeah. I couldn't. I was so surprised after taking, even just in the fourth quarter, I think he got sacked twice. It would have been a third time, but there was offsides. Like the 2 fumbles that were both recovered by New York. Like, he was getting the shit beat out of him, and I just don't understand why, as a franchise, why the GM isn't calling down to the coach, we're paying him $40 million, get him the fuck out of there.
Yeah, who knows? All right, let's move on to Thursday night's game. We'll go backwards. We had the Chiefs and the Lions. Obviously, no Chris Jones, no Travis Kelce for the Chiefs. The Chiefs closed 4-point favorites. They end up losing outright 21-20 in a game that they should have absolutely won. I mean, this was a travesty that they didn't win and cover. 52.5 was the total. It goes under. Saw a lot of people on Twitter after the game, oh, +4 Lions, easy, no sweat bet.
Yeah,
like,
no,
bro. If the Chiefs receivers could catch, I mean, the Chiefs run away with this game. It's not even close.
Yep.
The Lions scored 21 points. 7 of them were on a interception that Kadarius Toney should have caught. Like, that goes against Patrick Mahomes, and it shouldn't have.
If Kadarius Toney caught any of those 3 balls, it's a Kansas City win. Any of those 3, even with the pick 6, if he catches number 2 and 3 there, 2 or 3, like that game's over. Kansas City walks home with a W.
Yep.
And I think that's something that they really have to look at, is that wide receiver, that offensive core, because Kittle's got a knee injury that could keep him out, maybe one more game.
Yeah, but
it could be something that nags.
The only thing, my only pushback to that is, like, these are professional wide receivers. They're not going to drop as many balls as they did that one game. Like, that game's probably an anomaly, right? And if they do that again, they shouldn't be on an NFL roster.
Yeah.
Like, it wasn't just Toney that had drops. Like, they all dropped hella balls, dude.
Yeah. So
when you think about it in that aspect, like, going forward, if I'm a KC fan or a KC backer, like, and going forward into next week, like, my takeaway from this game here was that the Lions are going to be overvalued going into next week. Absolutely. Right? Because everyone's going to say, oh, they beat the Chiefs. But if you actually look at it, like, they should have never won that game.
No.
And they shouldn't have covered either. So if you think about that, and that the fact that Kansas City, the likelihood of their receivers dropping out, I don't even know off the top of my head how many, but it was at least 8 or 9 drop balls.
Let's see. Mahomes was 21 for 39, but does it tell me what drops?
If you go to Pro Football Reference, it probably definitely does. They had a lot of drops.
Yeah.
A lot. Sky Moore had a couple drops. What's his face? Toney obviously had 3 drops.
Yep.
I mean, just overall, it was just bad, dude. It was
the only one who didn't was Valdez-Scantling.
It was a lot. It was bad football, man.
Yep.
Does not get worse than that. So I mean, that's my takeaway from that game. Going into next week, I'm kind of looking at fading the Lions and backing the Chiefs probably. And I know the Chiefs are playing the Jaguars, but
yeah, and you've got the Lions playing the Seahawks, so I don't know how much we can.
I think it's a perfect spot because everyone's gonna be down on the Seahawks after they got fucking boat raced by the Rams.
Yeah, it's gonna be interesting to see where that line comes up.
So let's move to that game. So Rams, Seahawks. Seahawks closed 4-point favorites. Total was 44.5. The game goes under by 1.5, and the Rams win 30-13.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I played the Rams plus 4.5 in this game. Part of the reason being, Ben, is because, you know, I look at these spots in the offseason where, like, these teams get absolutely shit on, like, oh, the Rams aren't going to be any good. And on the flip side, the Seahawks are going to be good, right? Seahawks had Geno Smith coming off probably the best year of his career. That might have been an anomaly. We don't know, right? And it looked like an anomaly today. I mean, they only had 12 yards in the second half.
Yeah.
So that's why I played the Rams. I thought it was a good buy low, sell high type spot. Rams end up winning 30-13. Again, the Seahawks were just awful in the second half, just absolutely atrocious. Matt Stafford finished 24 of 38, 334 yards, no touchdowns. Geno Smith was 16 of 26 for 112 yards, 1 touchdown. What was your takeaway from this game?
I really like this young kid, Puka Nakua.
Oh, yeah, from BYU. Yeah, he looked good.
He looked really good today. So I think that's going to be great for this team. You know, like 10 catches, 119 yards with Kupp being out. Like, this is exactly what they needed, was a young kid to step up. And then when Cooper does come back in, you know, they're going to have 2 offensive, you know, threats that are going to really.
If Cooper Kupp comes back.
Yeah, it's true. He should come back. Like, what'd they say, like 12?
Damn, that's what they said.
Yeah, 10 to 12. So, I mean, he's definitely going to be out for a while, but that's, you know, it's going to be positive for them. You know, having Tutu Atwell, another 6 receptions, 119 yards too.
He looked good.
Yeah, it's they've got that core that if Stafford can stay healthy, you know, if they can run the ball, which they did not do today, you know, they're going to be able to be at least a mediocre to good team. They also have to like keep their heads on, because I saw Donald take a couple stupid penalties today.
That's kind of what Aaron Donald does, but you know what?
Yeah.
The production you get out of him on defense,
it's worth it. Yeah.
You know, could give or take a couple of those.
Same thing with Seattle though.
Mm-hmm.
The personal fouls on DK and Guandre.
I think Seattle, in this kind of the same aspect of the Giants, I felt like there was some regression coming regardless. I didn't expect them to lose, and I didn't expect them to lose like this. but I'm you know, I'm obviously not as high on the Seahawks. However, I think next week against Detroit is a good buy low spot on the Seahawks, because everyone's going to be on the Lions.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see where this line is too, because, you know, it could potentially be 7, 6.5, 7.
Where is it at? In Seattle?
Trying to pull up week 2, but it didn't pull it up for me. Where is this game going to be?
If it's in Detroit, it's probably going to be Detroit minus 4.5, maybe 4.
Let's see. In Detroit.
It's probably going to be Detroit minus 4, 4.5.
Let's see if anything's up yet. If we have an opening line. Detroit minus 5.5.
5.5. I would definitely take the Seahawks.
And it's probably going to get bet up.
I think it's going to get bet down.
Or sorry, down.
I think it closes at 4, 4.5.
Oh, okay. I figured we're going to get some initial betting up to like 6.5.
Nah, because the people betting earlier are the sharp bettors that think like me, in the sense that, like, it's a good buy low spot on the Seahawks. Then the public's going to come in on Sunday.
Yeah.
Because, again, like Detroit, yeah, they beat KC, but everyone's going to look at that and be like, oh, Detroit just won at KC on the road, and I'm laying less than a touchdown. Yeah, you're laying less than a touchdown, but game should have been a lot worse in KC, dude. They should have lost like, a lot. They should have lost by over a touchdown, dude.
Yeah.
Took some funky wonky shit. All right, let's move on to Philly, New England. Philly closed 3.5-point favorites. A lot of money came in on the Patriots today. They end up covering 25-20. The total was 43.5. It goes over. The Eagles actually led this game 16-0. And I texted you guys earlier this morning and I said, man, I'm kind of impressed by the Colts. Shane Steichen.
Patriots?
No, I said the Colts. The Colts really impressed me this morning.
Oh.
And their head coach Shane Steichen is the former offensive coordinator of Philly, and I said, I wonder how much this is going to affect Philly this year. Well, Philly's offense did not look as good as it did a year ago.
Yeah.
Jalen Hurts went 22 of 33 for 170 yards, 1 touchdown. He ran for an additional 37 yards on 9 carries, but I mean they were up 16-0, Ben, and they couldn't score for the longest fucking time.
4 field goals.
I don't think they scored another touchdown after that.
No.
And, the Patriots came back and almost could have possibly won the game twice. But Eagles' defense is good.
Yeah.
And Mac Jones is not good.
Yeah.
What was your takeaway from this game?
Yeah, I think I liked what I saw out of Jalen Carter. I didn't watch this game, but I did see the highlights. Him getting his first sack, he pressured the Mac 6 or 7 times. So it's definitely a good thing coming out of that. I think the Patriots can take this, even though they didn't win. I think they can take it as a win, in some sense, because they were able to come back and win the second, third, and fourth quarters. They had that tough spot, but outscored. Well, I guess they didn't win the third quarter, but outscored the Patriots 14-0 in the second quarter, and then tied them, 6-0 6-6 in the fourth. But if you're looking at quarters 2, 3, and 4, you're up 20-9.
Yeah.
So I think you can take that as a decent push there. Mac Jones 316 yards. That's a good line. He definitely wishes he didn't have that interception, but they stayed in this game with the Eagles, and that's something I think you can take as a W.
Yeah, I think I think the Patriots are a little better than what I initially thought in the offseason, and the Super Bowl loser always regresses a little bit every year. Like no Super Bowl loser has made it back to the Super Bowl in fucking God knows how long. I can't even remember off the top of my head who the last team is. So in that aspect, like I do think the Eagles have a very talented roster. Yeah. However, they did lose both their coordinators, Shane Steichen and Jonathan Gannon, and the Shane Steichen loss may be bigger than we anticipated.
Yeah.
Because Indy looked a lot better than I expected. Yeah. And the Eagles' offense looked a lot worse than I expected.
That offensive line needs help.
For who?
For the Eagles.
I mean, that's been the strength of their team for the last couple of years, but a lot of it could have had to do with Shane Steichen and how he designed plays, because he really utilized Jalen Hurts' strengths.
Well, and who was the guy last year who retired? Was it their center?
Nah, Kelsey's still playing.
Their centers. Kelsey's not their center. Right?
Mm-hmm.
No, maybe it was one of the.
Their left tackle was going to retire, but I think he's still playing. What's his name? Jason Peterson?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, we'll see what happens with the Eagles, but I think there's some regression to the mean there for them. All right, let's move on to the next game, which was probably
they actually have a hard schedule this year.
Yeah, that's the other thing. They had to play a first place schedule.
Peterson is gone.
Oh, so that is a big loss.
Yeah.
Massive loss. All right, let's move on to the next game. which was by far the most entertaining game of the day. And that was the Dolphins at the Chargers. Chargers closed 3-point favorites. The total was 50.5. Game goes way over. The Dolphins win 36-34. My biggest takeaway here is that the Chargers defense, dude. Well, both of these defenses were kind of porous, but Miami did pressure Justin Herbert when the time came, when the time needed.
Yeah.
Man, Joey Bosa and Khalil Mack were non-existent all day, and that's supposed to be a strength of the Chargers defense.
Yeah.
What's his name? The coach, Brandon Staley, the head coach of the Chargers. Like, you know, I talked a lot of shit about him last year, Ben. I didn't think that he should have retained his job this year. I thought a lot of the losses in the past 2 years have been on him. Mm-hmm. And this dude's supposed to be a defensive coach, and your defense sucks.
Yeah.
Like, at what point is enough, and you just pack it up? Like, how many times do we have to see Justin Herbert lose games where his team scores 30 points?
Yeah.
Like, when is enough, dude?
Yeah.
And it's just insane.
You got to give it up to the Dolphins offense, though. Tua looked good. Tua looked in like he was at the form of his of the beginning of last year.
Well, I mean, he's thrown to two really fucking good wide receivers.
Yeah. Yep.
He didn't get sacked at all. He was, like I said, he was barely fucking pressured.
Yeah.
You know, his offensive line played fucking phenomenal. And
I wish I had him in fantasy with his 466 yards.
Seriously. And that's what the Chargers, they got to figure it out, dude. Like,
yeah.
How do you have Joey Bosa and Khalil Mack and you have 0 sacks and like the dude doesn't even get pressured?
Yeah.
Like, they got to figure that shit out, and they got to figure it out fucking fast.
Yeah. Oh,
and you have Tui Laputu from USC, who's a high draft pick. Fucking, he had a better game than both those other dudes.
Yep.
So the Chargers will. My biggest takeaway is the Chargers will always Charger, so it's tough to take them. And you know, I did think that Miami was going to be a sleeper pick to win the AFC East, so I'm not entirely shocked by that. They have a great offense. They just got to stay healthy.
Yep. No, well, not as good. 27.1 points for Tua.
Because he only threw what, 2 touchdowns, 1 touchdown,
3 touchdowns.
3 touchdowns. He only had
yep.
20 what?
27.1. Minus 2 points for a fumble lost. Minus 2 points for an interception thrown. So it would have been at 31-1, but
interesting.
Yep.
All right, let's move over to the Vegas Raiders at the Broncos. Broncos closed 3-point favorites. Total was 43.5. The Broncos opened this game with an onside kick. Ball was illegally touched. Gets called back. Kind of changed the momentum of that game, but here we are. Jimmy G gets it done again, man. This dude just wins, bro.
Fuck, man. I definitely took a little bit of a gasp when he went down again.
Yeah.
You know, took that hard hit and then gets his ankle landed on.
Yeah.
Like, oh my God, this kid is made of glass. But he pulled it out today. He definitely pulled it out today. Him and Jacoby Myers looked good.
Yep.
Jacoby didn't get many yards, but man, those, you know, the routes that he ran.
9 catches, 81 yards.
Yeah. You know, him and Jimmy G looked good together. I was surprised Hunter Renfrow didn't even have a ball thrown to him. So it's a little interesting there.
The time will come.
What's that?
The time will come.
Oh yeah, absolutely. But I mean, we kind of saw this with him and Ayuk in San Francisco, where Jimmy gets his priorities, and if you're not that priority, you're not seeing the ball. So
yeah, I mean, he definitely he goes to guys he trusts, that's for sure.
Yeah.
You know, I thought the Raiders were kind of undervalued all offseason. I didn't play this game, but if I did, it would have been the Raiders plus 3.5. But I mean, I told all of my friends that are Raider fans, dude, they all were like, we're gonna suck. I was like, nah, you're not, because you have Jimmy G. Yep. So you're gonna manage to win 8 to 9 games just off rip, dude. Like,
yep.
You're gonna be good enough to not be great, but you're not gonna be bad. You know, You're gonna kind of be right there, and you know, say what you want about Jimmy G, dude, but like, we've heard this from dudes that have been in the locker room with him. Like, the dudes will run through a fucking wall for that guy. Like,
Yeah,
he is a
absolutely.
leader, and he has intangibles that you can't teach, dude. And that's why he's valuable. And, you know, he kind of proved it here. Gets the Raiders to 1-0. I thought the
more
higher,
importantly, wins a division game against Denver.
yeah, I mean, they've owned Denver for like since 2019, but I thought the AFC West hierarchy was going to be Chiefs, Chargers, Raiders, Broncos. I thought the Broncos would still be the worst team. Like, honestly, I don't think Russell Wilson be the starting quarterback by week 10.
Yeah.
I think there's a reason why they signed Jarrett Stidham to a big contract for a backup.
Yeah.
Shout out to AC Money. Me and AC had a conversation about this at Circa a couple weeks back. But yeah, I mean, I think the Raiders undervalued. I think the Broncos were a little overvalued because of Sean Payton, and I think we kind of saw that here. I was hoping Irv would be on tonight so I could hear him on his excuses about the Broncos and the next game we're going to talk about too.
Yeah. Well, and I mean, just to think about too, like Russ, 27 for 34. So completion to attempts was good. 177 yards, not good. 5.2 average, per pass, not good. But 2 sacks, QBR 74.8. Like, just not that great of a game.
Yeah.
Better than what he did last year, but still not at the level that you should be doing when you traded away so much for him and are paying him so much.
Yep.
So,
I mean, that was a mistake. Like, they wanted to get Rodgers. That's obviously why they hired Nathaniel Hackett. Didn't end up getting him, so they made a fucking, what's it called? Like, an overreacted move by going and getting Russell Wilson, and now they're paying. Yeah. There's a reason why the Seahawks just, like, gave him away, dude. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
All right, let's move on to the next game. We had the Packers at the Bears. Bears closed 1-point favorites. Packers cover. They absolutely fucking beat the brakes off the Bears, and the total was 41. The game goes over. Packers almost hit the over by themselves.
Yeah.
This is another situation here, Ben, where a team was absolutely undervalued all offseason, and a team was way overvalued all offseason.
Yeah.
And it showed again. And once again, Justin Fields is not a good quarterback, dude. Like, I'm sorry, bro. All these Bears fans and people that like back him have all the excuses built in for him. Oh, he doesn't have receivers to throw to. Well, now he has DJ Moore. Oh, but his offensive line let him down. It's like, dude, at what point do you just like sit back and be like, bro, like this dude he doesn't have it, bro. Like, he doesn't.
Well, their offensive line did kind of let him down today.
They weren't good, but at the same time, like, dude, this guy, he literally, if his first option isn't open, he pulls the ball down and tries to run.
Yeah.
And so he kind of runs himself into some sacks sometimes too.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying his offensive line was great, but dude, he doesn't do himself any favors.
No, absolutely. And, I think when we were talking about, Kansas City, we were talking about how many dropped balls they had. Like, Chicago was a complete opposite. Like, these balls weren't catchable
At all.
Yeah, they were attempted, but they weren't catchable. You look at Chase Claypool, 2 attempts, 2 targets, no catches.
DJ Moore only had like 3 targets. Ben, 2 targets.
2 targets. He had 2 receptions, so
and that was all in the first half.
Yeah, Mooney 7 targets, 4 receptions. Kmet 7 targets, 5 receptions. Herbert 5 targets, 3 receptions. Like, these just weren't real catchable balls. So that's.
And on the flip side, you know who looked good?
Yeah, Jordan Love. Definitely looked good.
Been trying to tell him, Ben.
Yep.
So
yeah.
There's a reason why the Packers were so, like, they wanted Aaron Rodgers out the door. Like, they couldn't get him out there fast enough.
Yeah.
There's a reason why.
I mean, Jordan Love is no Aaron Rodgers. He's not going to be Aaron Rodgers.
It's a high ceiling, and like if you're gonna compare him to that, he's probably gonna maybe never hit your expectations.
Yeah.
However, everyone said the same
He's
thing about
capable.
Aaron Rodgers to Brett Favre.
Yeah.
Nobody was like, "Oh,"
Well-
everyone said, "Oh, there's no way he'll ever be Brett Favre." He won a Super Bowl in his third year. Third year as a starter, I should say.
How many did Brett win though?
One.
Only one. Okay.
He went to two.
Yeah. Okay.
Lost to the Broncos.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it's. I still don't think Love is going to get to the level of either of those two, Favre or.
He has
Rodgers,
the
but-
physical capabilities, though, Ben.
Yeah, but he doesn't have the team.
No, that's the thing is like that's why I think the Packers were undervalued because they have a good team, dude. They have a really good defense. They have two of the best cornerbacks in football.
Yeah.
And then on the
They
flip
don't-
side, bro,
They don't have the receiving.
I think they do. I think Christian Watson and Romeo Doubs are going to be phenomenal wide receivers, dude.
Yeah.
Christian Watson was obviously hurt, but Christian Watson said it in the offseason. He said it. He said we love playing for Jordan Love. Bro,
Yeah.
they didn't like playing with Rodgers. Rodgers isolated them. And part of it could be because of the age difference. I get it. But he
Yeah, this is a young
isolated those
team.
guys, dude.
Yeah.
Week 1 last year, Christian Watson, he throws him a ball. Christian Watson drops it. He doesn't throw Christian Watson another pass for like 6 weeks.
Yep.
But
Yep.
Jordan Love is different. He has a different rapport with these guys.
Mm-hmm.
They said it. They said this is a different team, and we love playing with Jordan. That's what that's what Christian Watson said verbatim.
Yep.
And
I think it's going to take some time for this team to mesh. And to
I
gel
don't. One of my 3 futures I placed was the Green Bay Packers to win this division plus 450. The Vikings looked like shit.
Well, I mean, that's also not difficult because this division is not good.
It might not be, but people thought this team was going to finish 4th place.
Yeah.
But the roster, in my opinion, they have the best roster in this division. Top to bottom. Like, they're going to have a top 5 defense this year. No doubts about it. They have 2 of the best cornerbacks in football, man.
Yeah, but that defense
Rajul
could be
Butler
out.
and
That defense
Alexander.
could be out a lot.
No.
They could.
Why?
Yeah.
They have one of the best run games. They have one of the best offensive lines.
I mean, Aaron Jones, yes. AJ Dillon did not look good whatsoever today.
He barely took
He
the
had 13 touches
the reason when
for
this
19 yards.
yeah, but the
He did not look good today.
when this game changed was when they came out in the second half and they just like fucking pounded the rock, dude. That's when the
Yeah.
whole game changed.
Aaron Jones, I'll take it.
AJ Dillon has this spot, so like he's a big bruising back, dude.
Yeah.
I like this Packers team, and on the flip side, I don't like this Bears team. I don't think they're good at all. I think their defense sucks,
Yeah.
and
I think this is going to be the last place team in the division. I
yeah,
think this is the first and last.
they're gonna.
Those teams that do
I
it.
think the Bears and the Texans are gonna battle the Cardinals for the worst record in the NFL. It's gonna be those 3 teams that are gonna be bottom dwellers.
The Bears and the Texans.
Bro, the Texans could not like that offensive line is fucking awful, dude.
Yeah, no, I'm just trying to think if there's anyone else. Vikings.
Nah, the Vikings have too much. They're still a good team. They're just not a great team.
Shit, the way that the Bengals played today, they should be fighting for the bottom spot.
Shit. Nah, they'll bounce
No,
back.
I know.
Joe
Browns
Burrow,
just put their
his
clamps on.
kryptonite is the fucking Browns, dude. Like
Yeah.
I don't think he's ever beat the Browns.
That'd be interesting to see. Let's see.
I'm pretty sure he's never beat the Browns.
Let's see. Joe Burrow's record versus the Browns. 1-5 against the Browns in his career.
1-5, dude. Terrible. Awful.
Yeah.
All right, let's move on to the next game. We had the Cardinals at the Commies. Commies closed 7-point favorites. The total was 38. The game goes under. The Commies do not cover. Arizona led most of this game, by the way. But then, they got the phone call down saying, hey, you guys aren't supposed to win.
Yeah, we need Caleb.
We're trying to lose here.
Yeah. I
Uh,
wonder if it was defensive and special team actions, right? That got them the early lead.
yeah, it was a lot of funky shit, dude. And again, like, you know, I wanted to play Arizona +7 because of the fact that, like, again, another team where everyone shits on them all off season and says that they're not a professional sports team. But again, this is a prime example to everybody out there, new or old, betting NFL, that these are still professional football teams, dude.
Yeah.
And they're still good. So, you know, the Cardinals covered. They didn't look good. The Commies didn't look good either.
No.
For what that's worth. The Commies defense did look pretty good. Could have been a combination of the Arizona Cardinals offense being absolute dog shit. But
okay, so it wasn't special teams, it was just defense. Howell had the interception and the fumble for a touchdown. Scoop and
the scoop and score.
Yeah.
But at some point the Commies are gonna fire Ron Rivera. It's just a matter of when it happens.
Who was Tune the Cardinals QB?
I think he played a little bit, but no, Josh Dobbs did. Josh Dobbs played the whole game.
Okay.
That's how you know they're trying to lose, bro. They just traded for this dude like 3 weeks ago, and they throw him out there as their opening day starter. Oh my god, Connor looked pretty good though. 14 carries, 62 yards.
Yep. Which is good. He's been struggling for a while. Marquise Brown, 1 carry for 29 yards.
Oh,
it's a good average there.
This was the first Sunday in a long time where, like, I didn't have the Cardinals game on a TV.
Yeah,
because I didn't care. The only things I saw from them was on Red Zone.
Yeah.
I had the Texans Ravens game on a TV over that game, dude.
You didn't have the Niners game on?
No, because I didn't bet that game.
Okay.
So the only thing I saw from
that game was that game.
Red Zone 2.
That was beautiful.
Early morning slate, I had the Tampa Bay game on. That was my biggest bet of the day, was the Bucks. So I had that one on the big screen. And then I had Tennessee, New Orleans on a little screen. And then I had Red Zone. And then I had a quad box with my quad box was Tampa Bay, Minnesota, Red Zone, and the Browns Bengals.
Okay.
Because I had a bet on the Browns.
Yep.
All right, where are we at? We just finished with Washington. All right, Niners, Steelers, Ben.
It's beautiful.
Niners close 1-point favorites. The total was 41. The game goes under. Niners cover, win 30-7. Brock Purdy is undefeated in regular season games in which he's undefeated in general in games in which he starts and finishes.
Yep.
He had 2 touchdowns today, 220 yards. Kenny Pickett had 232 yards, 31 of 46, 2 picks. Defense looked good. Offense looked good. Niners look like the best team in the league.
Yep. Agreed. I had a bunch of Dallas fans texting me at the end of the day today, just be like, oh, you thought your Niners were good. Look at these fucking, these Cowboys. Like, we've got revenge written all over us. And it's just like, yeah, you're playing the fucking the Giants. The Niners are definitely the team to beat here. Steelers they're going to be a top 5 defense on most weeks.
Yeah.
But this offense is incredible. There's so many threats. The defense is incredible. There's so many threats. Our secondary actually looks good. I still think we need a cornerback at some point. But they didn't look like it today. Super impressed by this Niner team.
Yeah. I mean, I thought they were the best roster. Biggest question mark was, like, how healthy is Purdy? I think kind of answered all those questions.
Yep.
So, I mean, with that being said, I think they're the best team.
And, I was a huge, like, Trey Lance, fan, and and definitely pushed for him. But I feel so much more comfortable with Sam behind us.
Yeah.
So
yeah, Darnold is he should be starting.
Yeah.
He should be. He's a hell of a good quarterback. Well, he's got talent, I should say. All right. Next game, Saints, Tennessee Titans. Saints closed 3-point favorites. The total was 41. Game goes under. Tennessee covers as the Saints only win by 1. This was an absolute mid-off between Tannehill and Derek Carr. Tennessee probably wins this game if they have Malik Willis in there because Tannehill threw 3 picks. He looked like shit. Derek Carr, 23 of 33, 305 yards, 1 touchdown, 1 interception. But again, didn't look great. My takeaway is that both these teams are pretty mid. I think Tennessee's going to have to make a quarterback switch. Tannehill's he's not that guy, dude, at all.
Yeah, my question is, when is that going to happen?
Hopefully sooner than later if you're a Tennessee Titans fan, because Tannehill is cooked, bro. He looked he was the reason why they lost.
Yeah. When you got the Chargers next week, but then you have the Browns and the Bengals, and the Colts would be, in week 5, the Colts would be a great position to get Malik in there, and have that be a challenging game.
Bro, they had Nick Folk might have been the leading scorer for fantasy this week. 5 field goals, dude.
Yeah.
Oh.
And for distance too, right?
Yeah, he had a 50-yarder, and then he had a 45-yarder, and then a 31, 27, 29. Yeah. The Titans, they got to do something at quarterback. I think the Saints they are what they are.
The sad thing is they can still win this division.
Yeah. I mean, I think the Falcons are better, though.
Yeah, I agree with that, but
that was the other game I had on this morning was the Falcons because I had them for Survivor, so I needed them to win. I was sweating at halftime, dude.
Yeah,
I was like, fuck. All right, next game, Tampa Bay, Minnesota. Minnesota closes 4-point favorites. Tampa Bay covers. They went outright. Total was 45. It goes under. Tampa Bay wins the game. Baker Mayfield, dude, that guy's dog, man. You can say what you want about him, but 21 of 34, 173 yards, 2 touchdowns, and had a big first down conversion run to close out the game where he just put his body out on the line. Thought it was
his first half was not good. 3 for 11 for 12 yards.
Oh, I mean, the whole first half, the whole team looked like shit offensively.
Yeah. I mean, they still won the first. I guess the first half was tied 10-10 going into the break.
But again, the Bucks are another team that was shit on all offseason, very undervalued, and it was a good spot to back them here and against a Vikings team that overperformed last year, and they won. They were 11-0 in 1-score games.
Yeah,
unsustainable.
Yeah,
and here they are, 1-score game, 0-1 to start the year. There's gonna be more of these to come.
I mean, also have to put this into play too. Minnesota, 41 yards rushing.
Yeah, they got to be able to run the ball.
You know who could have gotten 41 yards rushing at halftime?
Dalvin Cook.
So, I mean, Tampa Bay's rushing was trash as well.
Yeah, Tampa Bay couldn't run the ball last year, though, at all. So, yeah. And I think they were actually improved today.
Yeah, well, I mean, 73 total yards, but your leading rusher, Rachaad White at 17 carries, 39 yards. That's bad.
Yeah, no, they couldn't run last year either, dude.
And you don't have a QB. I mean, yes, Baker Mayfield, can be a dog, but you don't have a QB like you did that can win you those games. I don't think Baker can win you those games.
I think we like to shit on Baker a lot, dude. Because
but
Baker
there's reason we shit on Baker.
We shit on Baker because he was the first overall pick.
Baker had option after option for a couple years.
With who?
With the Browns.
What do you mean option? He had Odell Beckham Jr. that didn't want to be in Cleveland.
Yeah, because he had Baker Mayfield thrown to him.
He never
He
wanted
had
to be in
Landry.
Cleveland,
He
dude.
had Nick Chubb.
Nah,
He had.
I think I don't think Baker Mayfield's like a great quarterback by any stretch of the imagination, and I think a lot of our thought process on him being dog shit is because he was the first overall pick, and like it's fair, because that's what he's gonna get held to. He's gonna get held to that standard, right?
Yeah.
But he should have never been the first overall pick ever.
Yeah, who else was in that year?
Sam Darnold.
Okay. I don't think he should have been the first overall pick either. I don't think he would have made the Browns much better. So
Josh Allen was also in that draft.
Okay, Josh Allen, that changes things. Yeah, I'll take him
But
first overall.
but my point is like we look down on Baker because he was the first overall pick, and he gets held to that standard, and rightfully so. But I think people do forget that he still is a good quarterback. You know what I mean?
He's good. He's not great.
Yeah, I think that's a great way of putting it. I think it's fair.
Yeah.
He's good. He's not great, but he does have Mike Evans, and he does have Godwin, and you know, they can't run the ball. They still can't run the ball. That's definitely an issue, but they do have a very good defense, which is good. And I think they were a little undervalued. Like everyone's like, oh, it's gonna be one of the worst teams in the league. Like, I mean, that's still basically the same team that won a Super Bowl 2 years ago. You know what I mean? Like
minus one major piece.
Minus Brady, but I mean, like, dude, Brady, like, they were one of the most talented teams, Ben.
Yeah.
You know?
Defensively, I don't think this team is up where it used to be.
I should say they won a Super Bowl 3 years ago, not 2 years ago.
Yeah. And they aren't going to get the calls like they did with Brady behind them. So
we'll see. We'll see. I think the Bucks are going to be better than people think, dude. I wouldn't even be shocked if they won the division. That division sucks.
That division sucks, but that's a stretch.
All right, let's move on to the next game. Jacksonville at Indy. Jacksonville closed 3.5-point favorites. The total was 45. Jacksonville covers and it goes over. While Jacksonville did cover, I was impressed with Indianapolis, dude. I didn't have a ton of expectations for Indy, but Shane Steichen is a hell of a play designer. Richardson looked pretty good for his first game. He went 24-37 for 223 yards, Ben. He also rushed 10 times for 40 yards and a touchdown. But Jacksonville, obviously the class of the AFC South, Trevor Lawrence just continues to get better.
Yep.
And now that he has a real number one in Calvin Ridley, I think this could be the year for the breakout.
Calvin Ridley looked good. Zay Jones looked good. Travis Etienne looked good. Etienne looked okay. He had his long 26-yard carry, but you know, I think this is an offense that can finally produce for him, and this defense is good. I agree with you. Indianapolis looked good. It's gonna be interesting to see what Anthony Richardson does. There was, you know, obviously he was hyped today, but still went 24 for 37. Was sacked 4 times. So
it's a lot of youth in there, though.
That's what?
A lot of youth in those sacks.
Oh yeah.
He also needs to learn how to slide when he's running the ball.
He needs to learn how to slide, and he needs to learn how to hold his emotions. Because at the end of the game there, right before he got hurt, when they were down at the 10-yard line, and they weren't able to, you know, push to get that final score, which I'm really glad because that allowed me to cover. But he got visually emotional, ripped off his.
That's good though. I want a competitor, dude. I want a competitor.
Yeah, but then the next play he ran it and didn't make the line of scrimmage. Ends up getting hurt.
Yeah.
You know, and then you have Gardner Minshew come in here and throw 2 duds. So, you know, he's got to learn how to calm that storm, and you know, yes, be emotional, but use that emotion to push you, not get your head out of the game.
Yeah, I agree. He's got to. He's gonna learn those things though as
he's young.
as time goes on.
I'm sure they would have enjoyed having a real running back too.
Yeah, but I was impressed with Indy, man. I really was.
Mhm.
All right,
I
let's
thought this was going to be a runaway in my bet. I mean, we talked about this last Tuesday.
I wasn't sure if it
I
was going to
thought-
be a runaway, but I didn't know. I honestly didn't know what to expect of Indy. I think that's kind of why I stayed away from the game.
Mhm.
But yeah, man, Shane Steichen, he did a lot of things for Anthony Richardson that he did with Jalen Hurts. It really helped improve Jalen Hurts. So, if Anthony Richardson keeps working, dude, he's got all the talent in the world to be a great quarterback. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. All right. Cincy at Cleveland. Cleveland closed 1 point favorites. They were 2.5 point dogs earlier in the week. The total was 46. Cleveland wins 24-3. You said it earlier, Ben. Joe Burrow's now 1-5 against Cleveland in his career. Burrow was 14 of 31 for 82 yards, dude.
Yeah,
And there was shitty weather in this game,
it was.
but still.
Yeah.
That's pretty bad, dude.
Yeah.
Their offensive line is still a fucking problem, dude.
Yeah. Well, I think Cleveland adjusted to the rain. They adjusted to being up, 10-0 at half, and just kept pounding it. I mean, 206 rushing yards.
Yeah, I mean, that's what they do.
compared to 144 passing yards. Watson was 45 of those. I mean, I think he definitely needs to step it up throwing the ball. But he's that offensive threat both on the ground and in the air, and that's why Cleveland picked him up and took the chance on him, and they just beat a division rival here. So
Yep, big win.
it's a big win. And man, Burrow did not look good at all, and I know he's still recovering from his calf strain, but
Could tell he didn't practice. You can tell he hasn't
14
played.
for 31, 2.6 yards average, 2 sacks for 15-yard loss. T. Higgins couldn't get into the game. Jamar Chase couldn't get into the game. Tyler Boyd, same thing.
Yeah, it was a
T. Higgins, 8 targets, no
no
receptions.
catches. Yep.
Ouch.
Tough game, dude. Very tough
Ouch.
game.
Yep.
All right, let's move on to the Texans at Baltimore. Baltimore closed 9.5 point favorites. The total was 43.5. The game goes under. Baltimore covers 25-9. My biggest takeaway here was the Texans are just they're a bad team. They're a very
Texans
bad
are bad, and man, poor Dobbins, man.
team. Yeah, that's
Out for
another
the
one.
season. That hurts.
But on the flip side, the Ravens didn't look great either. Like it looked more of it to me. It was more of the fact that like the Texans just looked so bad. Like the offensive line was banged up. They were on their like third string right tackle by the end of the game. And CJ Stroud just looked absolutely lost, dude. I have no hope for this team this year.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, they talked about it too, him being small, seeing up the middle, and he definitely was small today and could not see up the middle. So
That's Bryce Young.
that's Bryce. Oh, he was small and couldn't see up the middle.
He looked decent though. Let's move on to that game. Falcons and Panthers. Falcons closed 3.5 point favorites. Total was 40.5. Goes under. Falcons cover. They win 24-10. Bryce Young 20 of
looked
38.
small, couldn't see up the middle.
Yeah, yep. 20 of 38, 146 yards, 1 touchdown, 2 interceptions. Desmond Ridder, 15 of 18, 115 yards, 1 touchdown.
Yep.
Falcons have to get Pitts and Drake London involved, dude.
Yeah.
Arthur
London
Smith
was
has to
non-existent.
figure this out.
Yeah, London was non-existent today. I mean, Ritter wasn't all that great. But Al Greer, he looked good.
Yep, Algier looked good. Bijan Robinson looked good. So Falcons come away 24-10 winners, and they helped me move on in Survivor.
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah,
a
I think there were
survivor.
probably a couple teams that definitely lost a lot of people in Survivor.
Well, the most played team was the Commies, right? So, I was talking to AK, and I was like, I can't play the Commies because if they lose, then basically everyone's gonna be out, and I'll be left in.
Yeah.
So I was like, I'm thinking of the Falcons or I'm thinking of the Vikings. And he's like, but at the same time, I like the Buccaneers +6.
Yeah.
He's like, well, don't play the Vikings, dude, because then you're middling.
Yeah.
I was like, you're right. I told Irv, I was like, should I play the Falcons? He said, yes, play the Falcons. Boom. We move on.
Yeah.
All right, Monday Night Football tomorrow night, Ben. We got a Battle of New York. We got the Bills against the Jets. Right now, the Bills anywhere from 1.5 to 2-point favorites. Total is 45.5. I know you gave out the Bills already.
Yep.
You're still sticking by it?
I am still sticking by it. You know, I do think the Jets are going to be a better team than they were last year. But yeah, I think it's gonna take some time. You've got some injury questions for the Jets, and you know Buffalo has a fireline under the ass to prove like that they're as good of a team as they perform in the regular season, and it starts in week 1. So I still have the Bills. You know, Josh Allen is a really fucking good QB, and he's got the options.
He's got to bounce back though. He had a rough year last year.
He did. He definitely did. But I just think it's going to take a couple weeks for the Jets to get up to, you know, quality playing.
Yeah. This is a perfect another one of those buy low spots. You know, everyone's going to be on the Jets. They just saw Hard Knocks, right?
Yeah.
Aaron Rodgers. I think a lot of people are on the Jets. I still think Buffalo's the class of the division. So I'm with you. I like Buffalo here tomorrow night as well.
I think Buffalo's going to get a lot of energy with Hamlin coming back too.
Yeah. It's going to be more of a Jets energy though, because they're at the Jets stadium, and yeah, I'm not high on Jets, dude. I think the Jets are going to be worse than people think, dude.
Yeah.
Definitely agree with that. All right. Major League Baseball, Ben. So, quick little tidbit here. Reported today that the Angels would be willing to trade Mike Trout if he wants out. Mike Trout's he has 7 years left on his 12-year, $426.5 million deal. I think it makes it extremely difficult to trade. Very difficult. Reminds me a lot of the Giancarlo Stanton trade to New York a few years back, in the sense that while, yes, I'm sure teams would like to have Mike Trout, I don't think they are willing to give up much of anything to acquire the contract. Not the player, the contract.
Yeah.
Given the fact that he hasn't been healthy for 3 years, and even when he was on the field this year, didn't necessarily look that great.
Yeah.
What do you think is like possible outcomes for this situation?
I mean, if I'm Trout, I'm getting the fuck out of there. And I think that's also better for him health-wise, because we already know that the Angels have major issues, you know, with their training staff throughout the years.
Yep.
So, you know, that's if I'm Trout, I request that trade last week, especially when they say this. Get him out of there. Get him into a new spot where he can start anew. He needs to get out of there. We already know that the Angels are fine with not getting anything in return. They already messed up and mucked up the Ohtani situation where they could have gotten, you know, good return to boost their farm system. I don't remember who was saying it, but if they were smart, they would have traded Ohtani during the season, and then used their assets that they got from that trade to be like, hey, come re-sign here. We just got these young guys. You know, we're looking at our future. We want you to be a part of that future. we've got the core here, we've got the future coming. Help us win.
Yeah, but I mean,
And
like the young guys, like I mean, you got to get established dudes. You got to have a mix, dude. That's the problem. Because by the time those guys if they were to trade Ohtani for a bunch of prospects, by the time the prospects get good, you're looking a year or 2 years down the line. You know what I mean?
yeah,
Ohtani
but
wants to win now.
then you can come and say, like, okay, let's do this for this year, and for the future, we have these prospects coming up that that are quality. I mean, they were
Future
talking about
Ohtani don't care about the future. He wants to win now. His
but
career is now. His career isn't in 2-3 years. Like,
I
yeah, he'll
mean,
still be
when you're
around.
getting paid,
but
you're getting paid hella money, yeah,
you don't know
career
what you're
isn't-
gonna. You don't know what you're gonna be then, though.
yeah.
The Angels just they botched this whole fucking
Yeah.
situation from the jump. Signing Rendon to that big deal was the first mistake, right?
Yep.
Second mistake is the Ohtani thing. Now Ohtani's gonna walk. It was reported earlier this week that he wants to play for a winner, and it's also being reported that he wants to play for a winner and he doesn't really care if it's on the West or East Coast, which before it was being reported he only wanted to be on the West Coast. Now it doesn't seem to be an issue. He just wants to play for a winner.
Yep.
That opens a lot of things up. And then on top of that, like, now you're losing Ohtani. You traded 2 of your top 3 prospects for Giolito, and then you fucking waived Giolito.
Yep.
Because
That's
you
gonna
know
be the next point of they don't really care about getting things in return.
it's just it's comedy. But the thing with the Mike Trout situation is, like, okay, if you just want to dump the contract, then you're not going to get much in return for him, which I guess is, like, good financially. But if you want to get actual talent in return, you're gonna have to eat part of that contract.
Yeah.
Which I think Artie Moreno would be willing to do. The Angels actually have some good young talent. Logan O'Hoppe looks really good. Mickey Moniak looks really good. Zach Nato looks really good. And then that kid at first base looks really good too.
They're not going to push the edge. Yeah, and I think that's, especially in the AL, when you've got Tampa Bay with a great farm system. You've got Baltimore, who's great now and still has a good farm system. Like,
I think the difference, though, Ben, is, like, Baltimore had, like, elite talent in their farm system, right?
But that's what I'm saying is, like, in the next 3 to 5 years, they're not going to.
Yeah, the Angels
competing.
don't have that.
Yeah,
but you still have good young talent. You know what I mean? Like, I don't think they have a young talented guy. Like, Zach Nato might be their most talented young prospect guy.
Yeah,
MLB ready, but, like, is he on the level of a Gunnar Henderson or an Adley Rutschman? No.
Yeah,
he's not.
Yep.
But it's still, like, a good piece to have.
But when you're in the division with Texas, with the Astros, with
Texas might be ass.
Seattle, yeah, but 2 of those 3 are going to be quality. I mean, who knows what the A's are going to be in Vegas? That could be a total resurgence for the A's team.
Yeah,
like it could be something, that's. I don't know what to do. Do you keep Trout so you can hopefully contend? Or do you...
I would trade him.
Yeah.
I would even trade him for nothing just to dump the contract. Kind of just restart. Just start over. Start on a clean slate.
Yeah. I mean, if Ohtani and Trout aren't there, they're the team moving to Vegas, not Oakland.
Yeah, but I mean, like, if they still have money, though, which is my point. Like, you trade Trout and you just dump the contract, and then you basically only have Anthony Rendon on a big contract, and therefore you could start over. So you could, like, be players in the free agent market. You know what I mean?
But you're gonna have to way overpay free agents to go out there because they know how much you fucked up with 2 of the best players in baseball.
I don't know. I mean, players just want to get paid.
Yeah, No, but exactly, they're gonna have to overpay for it.
And you tell them, hey, bro, we're gonna give you $400 million to live in Orange County. You down? You know what I mean? Like, I think that's part of the reason why Mike Trout will never ask for a trade. You know, his family. He has a family. He's established in Orange County. At this point in his career, like, I don't think it's, you know, I don't think anyone's ever gonna judge Mike Trout for like not being in the playoffs all but 1 year. You know, and maybe they are, but maybe later on down the road in his career, when he has like 2 years left on his deal, he's like, okay, like get me to a contender so I can compete in the World Series or do something. I don't know if it's right now.
With his injury situation, who knows how long he's actually going to be playing though.
He is from the East Coast, though. You know, he's from Philly, or he's from New Jersey. You know, so we'll see. You know the Yankees. I think the Yankees are going to overreact after this year too. So, and then Jason Dominguez, dude.
Yeah, it's
Torn
unfortunate.
UCL.
Finally gets a shot, and now he's got Tommy John.
Yep.
So at least it's only going to be like 6 months or so because he's a field player. But
he won't be able to throw though, so he's only going to be able to like DH next year.
oh, okay. Man, yeah, that's rough.
Terrible, huge blow.
Yeah.
All right, playoffs shaping out, Benjamin. We got as far as the wild card is concerned, Texas still out half a game for the AL.
Yeah, Seattle's got that final spot. Toronto's a game ahead.
Yeah, Seattle's been they've been sliding.
Yeah, so has Texas.
Yeah, Texas really been sliding. And then on the NL side, Arizona, Chicago, Philly, and then Chicago's only I think a game and a half back of
Chicago's 2 up for that final spot.
I'm seeing of the Central. I think they're what 2 games back of the Central. 2.5 back.
They are 3 games back in the Central.
3 games back in the Central, and then Arizona, they're up. Miami's a half game back. Giants are 1.5 back. Cincinnati 1.5 back.
Yeah,
and I think we could finally say sayonara to the Padres.
Yep,
we could finally pack them up, dude.
Yep,
officially cooked.
Hey, if the Giants can go, 8-11.
The Giants can only beat the Rockies.
Yeah.
That's their problem.
But if the Giants can go 8-11, I'm happy with this season. I said it at the beginning. This is a 500 team. If they can get to 81-81, I'm happy. If they can beat that and get into that last wild card spot, awesome. But this is a 500 team. We're seeing it. They need to go 8-11.
All I know is, you know who has the second most wins in all of baseball?
Baltimore.
That's right.
Yeah. There we go. Your second team, because your first team has tied for the least wins in baseball.
That's right. They're becoming a fun team, though, man.
They're not in last place anymore. Kansas City is taking that one over.
Mm-hmm. The A's have
Colorado's close.
I'm very intrigued with the A's future. Zach Geloff, hell of a fucking player. If you have not watched Zach Geloff play, you need to watch him play. Lawrence Butler, Suri Ruiz. They got a lot. They actually got young talent, dude. Regardless of what the media is gonna tell you, they got some nice young kids. And at pitching, Ken Waldachuk, Kyle Muller, they should all be better next year. JP Sears, and then Mason Miller. Obviously, he got hurt earlier in the year. Bro throws like 104 miles an hour. He's back. They put him in the bullpen for now, so I'm actually intrigued by the A's future, dude. I think they got some nice young pieces, man.
Are they playing in Oakland for one more year?
At least, yeah.
Okay.
I mean, all depends on what goes down because, like, the whole stadium situation isn't even figured out in Vegas yet. So,
yeah,
you know, like they bought property, they have plans. You know, we'll see what happens, but I am very intrigued with the A's future, man. I am intrigued by it, but yeah, man, Baltimore's my team right now.
There we go.
And no one can say I ride the bandwagon because I was on the Baltimore bandwagon before they were good.
That's true.
I said they were gonna be good.
Yep. Oh no, I mean
Before
everybody saw the
last
potential
year.
there. Yeah. Yep.
So
No,
no
they
one
got
can.
some-
I'm the captain of the bandwagon, Ben.
You're one of the OG bandwagoners.
Yeah, I hopped on before they were even good. I was like,
Yeah.
this team's gonna be good.
Yeah. No, yeah.
Oh
I mean,
man.
shit, you even went out to a game. So.
Yeah, even I went to Baltimore and went to a game.
Yeah.
When they were dog shit, by the way. They were the
Yeah.
worst team in the league that year. It is
A
what
whole
it is.
2 seasons ago, which is crazy. To think about.
It isn't. That isn't.
Yeah.
It's a quick turnaround, dude.
Yeah.
Now they've won 90 games. Who would have fucking ever thought, dude?
It's nuts.
Absolutely insane.
Absolutely nuts. Yeah.
All right, let's get some best bets for tomorrow. I already know. We already got one of your best bets.
Yep. I'm still on the Buffalo train. If I can get it even at, what is it, 1.5 now?
Yeah, it's like
even happier.
it's all. I see 1.5 and 2s everywhere.
Yeah. If I can get it at 1.5, I'm even happier. But I just think I think the Jets are a little overrated. I think their time will come, but I don't think it's going to be the first game against Buffalo. So I'm going to go with the more established team here. Even though they're on the road, it's not too far away. Baseball wise, I'm going to do I'm going to go Chicago run line in Colorado tomorrow.
God damn it!
What's that?
I
Same
said,
bet?
God damn it! Yes.
There we go. Well, I like it. You've got Freeland on the hill, who is kind of cheeks. Going against Wicks. The Cubs are trending in the right way. Colorado is trending in the wrong way. I think you can easily take that run line because you're in Colorado. The ball is going to be flying out. So I'm going to take that. Take that run line at -1.5 there. First time these teams are seeing each other this year.
Yeah, I like the run line mostly because of the Sunday night curse. So Colorado has to travel from San Francisco back to Colorado tonight, and we know how like Colorado we know how that Sunday night curse goes. So I like the Cubs -1.5. That's what I put down as my best bet. And then I also am looking at the Toronto Blue Jays at home tomorrow against Texas Rangers. I haven't fired it, so I'm not going to make it a best bet. I'm leaning Toronto -143. Chris Bassett on the mound. Other than that, that's all I have. I'm also leaning the under in the Buffalo Jets game. Might get there, might not. But again, I also lean the Bills -1.5, -2, depending on what you can get. I definitely think they probably win that game.
Yep.
Basically, everyone has 2s.
Okay.
There's like a couple books that have 1.5.
I'll take it at 2.
Yeah, not bad. All right, thank you everybody for joining us. Make sure to go to Sharps, download it on your Apple iPhone from Apple Store, Google, Android, wherever you can get it. Sharps, SHARPZ app. Use promo code Jord517 and start tracking your bets. Become a better man. We appreciate y'all for hanging out with us. We will be back on Tuesday. We'll be breaking down some NFL Week 2, and we will be breaking down some Major League Baseball for the Wednesday slate. We are getting very close to Major League Baseball playoffs, man. I cannot fucking wait. It's that time of year. The fall is here. The leaves are falling. The air is cooling. That's what it's all about, baby. So thank you all for hanging out with us. For Mr. Big Ball and Ben Larson, I'm Jordan Stacks on Stacks on Stacks Lives. Make sure to follow me on the X or Twitter, whatever the fuck you want to call it, at Jordan Rules TSP. Follow the podcast at taproom_sports. Follow us on Instagram at Taproom Sports Podcast. We love y'all. We appreciate y'all. We'll see y'all later. We out. Peace.